Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. The Polish Parliamentary Commission for Inquiries into Fraudulent Reprivatisations announced today that employees of City Hall received enormous financial bonuses. The more cases they dealt with, the more money they received. Several persons of interest were arrested and subsequently freed on high cash bail.
The reprivatization scandal became public when the Law and Justice Party took power after winning the 2015 parliamentary elections. In previous years, many properties in Warsaw fell into private hands under suspicious circumstances. Over the years, Hanna Gronkiewicz-Waltz has been paying out considerable sums of money to people who are facing several counts of corruption charges. In short, if the prosecutor's charges are legitimate, it means these people had several sources of income: their salaries, financial bonuses and bribes. We can see that over the years, Hanna Gronkiewicz-Waltz nor the civic platform government were able to neutralize the substantial problem of the reprivatization scandal. It took the Parliamentary Commission to tackle the problem and return hundreds of millions of zloty to the city coffers. It took our government to fight with these improprieties. And now we can pose the question, is it right to give financial bonuses to those who fight fraud or those who commit the fraud? The residents affected by this scandal hope that their lives will soon return to normal.
Today is the 74th anniversary of the Battle of Monte Cassino. Polish soldiers played a crucial role in taking one of the most important German outposts in the defensive Gustav Line. Their successful assault opened up the road to Rome. Polish officials and war veterans took part in the official ceremonies in Italy.
At noon, the Polish delegation laid flowers at the Polish Division's memorial. The Minister of National Defense, Mariusz Błaszczak, and the Minister of Internal Affairs and Administration, Joachim Brudzinski, were present. The ceremonies were also attended by a few dozen veterans, some of whom served under the famous General Anders. The Monte Cassino defensive outpost was a crucial part of the Gustav Line. The German troops mounted a series of strongholds in the Italian Alps, making it very difficult for the Allies to attack Germany from the south. Close to 1,000 Polish soldiers died, and around 3,000 were injured in the battle that lasted a few days. The Allied forces tried to take the German defenses for a few months without success. Before the Polish soldiers arrived, the British troops had charged the mountain monastery 3 times, losing 54,000 men. On the 18th of May, 1944, the red and white flag was raised at the Monte Cassino peak. After a few hours, on General Anders' order, the British flag also raised. The triumph of Polish troops was also announced by St. Mary's trumpet call, played by a Polish soldier at the top of the mountain. The Battle of Monte Cassino is a prime example of how useful the Polish soldiers were on many front lines during the Second World War.
Today is the 98th birthday of Karol Wojtyła, better known as Pope John Paul II. Karol Wojtyła is Poland's only ever pope and is still viewed as one of the most significant leaders of the Roman Catholic Church.
Karol Wojtyła was born on May 20, 1920 in the small town of Wadowice, near Krakow. At the end of the Second World War, he became a student of an underground Catholic seminary, as Poland was under German and Soviet occupation. He became a priest in 1946 and went to Rome to continue his studies. In 1964, Pope Paul VI appointed Wojtyła to cardinal. 14 years later, in 1978, he was chosen by 111 cardinals to become the head of the Roman Catholic Church. Wojtyła took the name of John Paul II and immediately took the decision to return to his homeland for his first official visit. At the time, Poland was under communist rule, and the voice of the Pope supporting the Solidarity movement helped the freedom fighters overthrow the government and regain independence. John Paul II visited 129 countries during his pontificate and had a great impact on many people's lives with his sermons. He passed away in 2005 at the age of 85. He was beatified in 2011 and then canonized in 2014.
It seems ever more likely that a populist government will be formed in Italy. This comes after the populist Five Star Movement and the far-right Lega Party published a joint policy programme today. The leader of Lega, Matteo Salvini, has reconfirmed that the new government will deport 500,000 illegal immigrants who have arrived in Italy from Africa in recent years.
Today's news from Rome is sending shockwaves through Brussels. The EU establishment is already preoccupied dealing with issues such as Brexit, and the European Commission's dispute with the national conservative governments in Poland and Hungary. Now, it seems it will have to prepare for a government in Rome which is hostile to EU policies on austerity and non-European immigration to the EU. The deal reached between the Five Star Movement and Lega does not include a direct call for Italy to leave the Eurozone, but the parties have expressed a wish to return to the pre-1992 Maastricht Treaty era, which laid the foundations for the euro currency and member states to abide by common financial rules. There is also a request to the European Central Bank to forgive the €250 billion Italian debt. The news caused the Italian 10-year bond yield to rise significantly and stocks to slump. The joint policy program of the parties also promises to deport 500,000 illegal immigrants, close all illegal gypsy camps, set up a register of Muslim clerics, and shut down all radical Islamic organizations. The joint policy program will now be voted on by members of both parties and, if approved, be presented to the country's president on Monday. If all goes well, Matteo Salvini from Lega Nord and Luigi Di Maio from the Five Star Movement may rule Italy together for years to come.
Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm John Carter, and Poland Daily returns same time tomorrow. Good night.